So there's this time that I think it was my birthday actually, and a friend of mine, Pipa, said, "Hey, I'm going to shout you lunch." And I looked at her and I was like, "Why do you want to tell everyone what I'm having for lunch?" I didn't get it. I absolutely did not understand it. I think I'd been in Australia for 3 or 4 years by then, and I'd never heard that expression. No one had ever said that expression to me. So it was the first time hearing it, and I was standing up and I was thinking, okay, why would anyone want to talk about my lunch? What is that?
Yeah, I can see how you would get confused with that. Especially being the first time in Australia and someone says, I'm going to shout you lunch. You're like,
Yeah.
no, why would you
Yeah,
do that?
Why
my
would you
shout
shout
is
me?
the other one. Is
Yeah, in my
Yeah,
shout, exactly.
mm,
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And it was so foreign to me. I think the reason it was so foreign to me as well is because we had this the first time someone invited me for lunch. Back home, when someone invites you for lunch or for drinks or for a meal, they pay for it. Like it's courtesy. But I was surprised when everyone at lunch started taking out their cards and they were paying for their own lunches. And I thought, hang on, you invited me for lunch and now I'm paying for my own lunch?
Yeah, I
Like
have to
is that normal with you? Like is that
I have to
normal?
agree
Is
with
that like
you.
normal?
I've
Mm.
lived in Australia for a long time, like since I was 5 years old. But because I've been raised with Ghanaian parents, they've kind of instilled that thing in me. So when I go out or when I take someone out for lunch, I automatically pay for it. But with my Australian friends, it's like, okay, let's split the bill. And that was a strange concept to me at first, but I've kind of, become used to it. So I get you. I get you.
mm. I think in a business context, if you're
Mm.
entertaining a client or you've got a business relationship, whoever does the asking does the
Mm.
paying. But yeah, in a friendship sort of thing, it's always you pay your own way. And then of course, let's not go. Well, I'm going there. Dating and who pays?
Oh
Who
Yes.
yeah.
pays? Is it the
Yeah.
first date? Is it the guy? Is it the girl? Is it the asker? Is it Dutch? Is
Yep.
there an obligation implied?
Yeah. And then the whole
So many different.
21st century woman doing her own thing, being Miss Independent. It's like, no, I got the bill. And then the
Mm.
man's like, no, but I want to be the gentleman. It's crazy.
Mm,
Oh, look, I don't know about Sandra. I think you've just touched on a really hot topic here. It started off really innocently with shouting lunch, but now I think we are in very interesting territory now.
Oh,
where
But
I
yeah.
like to go.
Yep.
I've I've always like I want to be wooed and spoiled, and if I'm being taken out for dinner, I want my men to pay for it. It's I think it's just it feels natural to me. So the whole splitting, and I've seen a lot of conversations around splitting bills, and then they people getting upset because someone left without paying half the bill, and that's always very strange to me. I
Mhm.
don't know how do you guys
I think it's a
take that?
mindset. I think if you're one of those
Mm,
women who are like, no, I can do my own thing, I've got myself covered, and the man respects that and is like, okay, pay for yourself and pay for me too, then that's fine. But like you were saying, I'm also that type where I like the whole gentleman kind of thing. Like, yeah, you can pay for my food. I don't have a problem with that. I am still a strong, independent woman, but I also like to be
mm,
spoiled. So I think it's a mindset thing.
mm.
True. Mm. Well,
Sandra, what do you think?
having been in the same relationship for 35 years, it's a little tricky for me to say because, and currently, um, I'm the breadwinner and my husband is retired. So, but I still make him get up and order the drinks. He just does it. He's such a gentleman. But
Yeah. Oh, he is.
what's mine is his. What his is mine. So
Mm,
there is none of that. But I still like the idea that I'm the lady and I get to sit at my table and wait for him to go up, if it's a bistro, order the food, and then if it's, then go to the bar or whatever and bring me a drink, which he
Yeah.
just does. He just does it because
mm.
he's a gentleman. So, um, if I was in the dating game, I'd still want my first date probably to be the romantic,
Yes.
you take it
Definitely.
over. But
Yeah.
after a short time, I think you come to an arrangement. And I have a niece. Hope she doesn't listen to this, but she probably will. Um, who expects, and she's not on huge money, and she dates guys who you know may or may not be on huge money themselves, but she
Mhm.
loves to wine and dine. And she's had a couple go, "Oh, I don't think I can afford to go out with you anymore because it's all let's have
Wow.
martinis and let's have
Oh.
seafood and oysters and champagne. Let's
Mm.
live the big life." And it's like, I don't really know
Maybe
you
not.
that well yet, and I can't afford you. You're
Well,
after a totally different sort of
she might as
man
well
or
enjoy
relationship.
while she can.
True, true. She's got way more self-esteem than I do, clearly.
Yeah, very brave.
Oh,
Oh,
funny.
but going back to I love the talk I love talking about food and the different ways in which different cultures seem to do different things. I think back home in Zimbabwe, the expectation is the man pays for everything. Everything. Poor guys, they stress a lot, but that's the expectation. Is that fair? Is that not? I don't know. I think, like you rightly said, Sandra, it has to be a conversation and there has to be that understanding. And I think, Liv, you touched on that as well. If, it's how two people feel. If the woman wants to pay, let her pay. But if they are anything like us, wine and dine us.
I feel that. I also think it goes down to traditional gender roles, like what the expectations of a
Mm.
man is and a woman. Like the man is to provide, female is to care and be nurturing. So, I
Mm.
guess what your views would be on the gender roles kind of would influence how you take those kind of things.
Oh, you've
I know,
touched on another
I
hot
know. I
topic.
went there. I was trying not to, but then I'm like, no, I have to say it.
You might as well.
I
Yeah,
know,
I
we
don't
might as
know. Look,
well.
the prescribed, I feel there's a difference between the prescribed gender roles and being feminine. And for the gender roles, I think it's something that's been used to manipulate and keep women at a certain position in life. And that's what we try to work through things like, gender pay gap, all those things. Because I think, I'm not sure if you guys would have seen this report, but during COVID, women got seriously stressed because they were working from home and they still had carer duties, which is something which the men didn't do because there was still that expectation that the woman's going to do it. So the whole of gender roles, I think, this was prescribed at a period where I guess women were not working. But now that some women choose to work, it's a very it's such a sensitive topic, isn't it?
Mm,
It's a
Yeah.
sensitive topic.
I think it's embedded in history and how things have evolved over time. So, like, what we do today was not the same as what was expected back in the day.
Mhm.
So, I think it is an evolving thing. And when we keep those traditional views and push them into like a modern kind of world that we live in, it may not make sense. But at the end of the day, I believe, like you were saying, women are feminine. We want to be that soft kind of. I think in today, I know I just have to go there. I just think in today's world, women are expected to put on certain facades just to make it through, like be all masculine and strong and independent. But on the inside, we're really meant to be just feminine and we're meant to be soft and we're meant to be. I mean, like soft is not weak. You know what I mean? Soft is just meaning like we deserve to be taken care of just as much as we care for others. So yeah, I went there. I went there. I'll leave it into your hands to finish it off.
mm. I think, well, I'll throw in that no wonder men are so confused
Yeah.
because
Mm.
it's confusing messages. What they were brought up with is maybe not what they're hearing from women now in the mainstream, but then perhaps one on one, they're still hearing, well, I'm an independent woman, but nurture me, care for me, pay for my dinner, get the door
Yeah.
for me. So
Mm.
it is confusing. And what I see with the whole paying your way is it's about power, isn't it? It's about power in a
Yeah.
relationship. And women want to be seen as strong and independent. So to demonstrate that you have the ability to pay for yourself, you don't need someone to pay for you, and the potential for obligation of, oh, you've paid for my dinner, now I might have to repay you in some other way, which they didn't talk about in
Mm.
the 50s, but I'm sure there was
Ah,
plenty of that
Yeah.
going on,
insinuations.
So yeah, it's a whole different discussion, and we're probably we don't have the time, and we could probably have more people inputting and contributing to that. But there's, for every argument, I think there's a counter, depending
That's
on who
true.
you are, where you come from, your own experiences.
Mm,
Because if anyone's ever been put in a position where they have felt a lack of equality and power against the other person, it puts you on the back foot. And money, of course, it's a leveler. It's a type of leveler, and a pay. You mentioned pay gap earlier, Em, and
yeah,
that was one of the reasons that the gentleman would pay, because even if the woman was working, everybody
could
knew she
earn
wasn't
less.
earning as much.
Mm.
And now, of course,
That's true.
if that's not the case, why does the guy still have to fork out for the dinner?
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know. I'm being devil's advocate, standing up for the men folk.
No, I mean, it's a
well, there are
good
a lot of
point.
things. Yeah.
Go on, Em.
Well, clearly there are a lot of things lost in translation. But I do want to go back to the shout lunch thing. It's my shout, or hey, let me shout you lunch. What is the basis of that? Like, what is that about? I've never heard that expression before
Well, it's
until
definitely an Aussie
Australia.
thing. I couldn't find it. I mean, it refers to an act of spontaneous giving, primary use in pub culture. So what it would normally be is you
Mm.
have a bunch of blokes in the public bar, because only blokes were allowed in the public bar until the mid
Oh my
60s or
gosh.
70s. That's a whole nother discussion on equality. But if you'd come into some money because you'd been at the bookies or whatever, hey everyone, it's my shout, which means I'm shouting right now. Whoever's
Mm,
there, I'm going to buy it's my round, basically. The drinks are on me, is what the
mm.
Americans would probably say. So, oh, shout, oh, it's, Bazza's shouting, quick, let's all get in for a drink.
Oh, yeah.
So
I see.
that's
I see where that came.
my belief of where it's come from. And then it's like, I'll shout your dinner, or I'll shout your lunch, or I'll shout this round. And of course, the pub culture used to be, let's say you had a group of 5 people who would
Mhm.
drink together. Everybody had to have their shout. So you'd have at least 5 drinks that night, because everyone would take a turn to get the drinks
Ah,
in.
I
So, and if
see.
you if you slunk off at number 4 when it was your turn, you'd be the worst kind of person out there, because that is not a fair suck of the sav, Emma. That is not
yes.
a fair go.
That's another
It's,
expression. I
that is the
still
expression
live.
that
Have
I
you,
threw at you the other
yeah,
week.
have you heard that expression before? What Sandra just said?
The fair go.
Fair suck of the sav. The fair
No.
suck of the sav.
No, I haven't. What does that mean?
Yeah.
It means a fair go, basically. A fair suck of the saveloy, your spicy
First,
sausage
Oh,
of
first
the
okay.
suck
sav,
of
or
this.
fair suck of the sauce bottle. It's
Oh,
it's fairly it's fairly
why would anyone be
archaic
sucking a
now.
sauce bottle
I have
though?
It's
no
somebody.
idea.
It's my generation or older, but it's kind of like fair go. Fair cop, fair
Oh,
go. Um,
first suck.
Interesting.
anyway, thought I'd share that one with you as well to ponder.
Yeah, I've
So
honestly
did
never
you
heard of
say
that.
serve is
Wow.
right?
Well, that your task, should you choose to accept it, is to go forth and use it on some of your Aussie friends and just see what they say. Like, what? And
I
it
think
could
I
be a
will.
generational thing.
I think so, but
It
I
could
will
be,
try
if
it.
you're under 40, you may not have heard of it. If you're a millennial, if you're over 40 or even over 50, it's something that I grew up with.
Oh, nice.
Oh, first suck of the serve. Oh, the
Go on. You want to do it. You want
oh,
to use it.
the other thing that I've started using, which confused me so much when I landed in Australia, was people saying, "How you going?" I'm like,
Yes,
"Where?"
where to?
Like what? Where
On my
to?
feet. I'm
You
walking
know?
and then I'm getting in a taxi. That's how I'm going.
Yeah, sounds about right. Yeah, it's one of those phrases where you're tempted to say the obvious, but obviously you know that there's another meaning to it. But I get you. I would be
Yeah.
Mm,
confused too.
Mm. How
yeah,
you
I had no
going?
idea,
How you going,
but
mate?
it's appalling now that I use the same term. And I don't even remember what I used to say before I said, how you going? Like it's now so natural
Yeah.
to me.
What did we use? It would be
Oh
like, how are
no.
you or something.
It's
It would
like
be
that.
how are you, but it sounds incomplete now.
Mm.
Yeah. How you going sounds better now.
You've
How are
adapted to the
you?
Aussie ways.
Oh my gosh.
The same expression or the same meaning
Yeah.
we misinterpreted because I was born in England, came over when I was 5, so that's what we've got in
Oh,
common.
something in
Is
common.
and when our English relatives would come over, their version of that is, "You're all right. Are you all
Mm.
right?" And immediately you'd go, "Yeah,
Yeah, I think I've
yeah.
been thrown off by
Why are
that
you asking?"
before. I think
Yeah,
someone said,
yeah.
you
So
okay? And I was like, just out of nowhere, like, you okay? And I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, nothing's changed. Like, I'm
yeah.
fine. But I get you. I get you.
What
Mm.
vibes am I giving off? Somebody has to ask.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe there's some energies you need to work out.
I'm like, do I
Yeah,
look sick or like, what's happening? Why are you asking me that?
course I'm all right. Why do you ask? Hang
Yeah.
on.
There's this one, she'll be all right.
She'll be right, mate.
Ah,
Yeah.
yeah,
What
yeah,
is
yeah.
that? That confuses me as well. I still don't get it.
Well, it's akin to no worries. She'll be right. Nothing to
Ah.
Ah,
worry about. It's okay. She will be right, mate. She'll be right.
who is she?
Yeah, who is she? That's a good question.
I don't know, but she's
Who
all
is
right.
she? She's in a lot of trouble. She's in a lot
Oh
of
man.
trouble. She needs a lot of
Yeah.
reassuring.
Oh, she's like, she's apples. That's another one. She's apples.
Never
Oh,
She'll be
heard
haven't
that
fine.
heard
one.
that one.
No, I'm
She's
just
She's
too old.
apples.
apples. Wow.
What is that?
I got
Which
to
one's
Google that.
that?
I'm going to go, she's apples, just in case. Maybe I dreamt it.
I'm
She's
thinking
apples,
she's
meaning
apples.
leading purveyor of fruits. No, that's not it. She's
She's
apples.
apples.
Free dictionary. Everything is all right or in good working order. Quotations come from 1989. No, that's the book that it's come from, but it's older than that. It's probably last century, if not the one before, I
Oh
would
wow.
suggest. Yeah, as a lot of these
Wow.
expressions are, they come from the sheep shearing days or the early um, foundational, early federation sort of days of Australia. I'd say with a lot of these things. Hmm. Anyway,
Interesting.
Well, that's interesting. You might have something that you found very strange, like a strange saying or something that's lost in translation in your time in Australia. We would love to hear about it. Drop us a note and let us know something that we can discuss next time when we get together. Thank you for tuning in. And today's empowerment note is sponsored by Summer Creative, your go to for graphic design, branding, and packaging. And in a world where everyone wants to be the same and has the same theme that they go after, which is success at all costs, sit back, reassess your values and your purpose and what gives you joy, and go for that. And even though it might seem like you're running a race no one understands, if it's a race that gives you joy, that gives you peace, then you are empowered. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.